Hey everybody, it's your girl Delilah Fitness. And so it begins. So I'm hungry. I had a long day working today. Um, and I want to make something to eat. Something that's healthy and enjoyable. So it's story time. As I'm old school. As a lot of you guys know, I'm 56 and I want to set the tone for the evening. So we're going back to 1971. 1971. My grandmother is in the kitchen and she's making us dinner. And I must have been about 8 years old. So this is a story time. So as I'm telling the story, how's everybody doing? How was your day before I get into my story? I'm going to be making cucumber noodles for my dinner. So I'm going to be making my dinner. I'm going to be chatting story time. So I'm going to make some cucumber noodles with a sauce. So this is story time. So feel free to ask any questions. I can't read the questions now because I'm going to be making my dinner. But story time. So I grew up in the Bronx. I'm from the Bronx. My mother had me at 14. She was young. Very young. Never met my dad. Never met him. He didn't have the honors of meeting me. We grew up in a standard American home of processed food. My mother was on welfare. She was 14 when she had me. So she being a young child, she didn't have much to go on. I did have my grandmother in the house. My grandmother was there, but she was in and out. My grandmother had issues with her mental state. So she was in and out of the hospital. So she was either here or there in my life. Every now and then, in and out, in and out. So that's to set the tone for a lot of you guys. Now, why am I telling you this story about me? Why? That's a good question. I find that in this time where we at right now in 2022, a lot of people are feeling disconnected and need human contact. A lot of people feel disconnected due to the pandemic. A lot of people made a lot of so-called friends on the internet. I met a lot of you guys on the internet. We never saw each other face to face. Don't know if we will ever see each other face to face. But due to the internet, it actually helped people stay sane. Because we are social beings. We're animals, whether we want to believe it or not. We're in a higher state on the chart as far as evolution, but human animals nonetheless. So with that being said, a lot of us, due to the pandemic, had an issue with being stuck in the house and needed some type of social connection. That's where you come in. Now, in the story that I'm about to tell you about my childhood, I was around 10. Nothing traumatic happened. Had a great life. Never knew I had financial issues. For example, a child doesn't know that a child is poor unless it starts going to school and people start saying, oh, well, I got this, I got that. But my grandmother was from Panama. She was Panamanian. She didn't have a college degree. My grandmother didn't have a college degree. She came here from Panama she took the Queen Elizabeth. She was in St. Thomas, Virgin Islands. That's where she met her husband. And then she made her way on the Queen Elizabeth. She stopped by in England. So my grandmother spent some time in Tottenham. So I do have family in Tottenham, England. I have family in England. And what Caribbean person doesn't have family in England? So grandmother came to the States to get a better life from Panama. A young woman traveling alone. I don't know what her journey was traveling alone because when I came in the picture with my grandmother, she was in and out of the hospital. So she was not constantly present to tell her story. But it is a story nonetheless. A woman traveling on her own, I can only imagine what she went through. But I can honestly tell you, regardless of what my grandmother went through, we always ate at home. We did not eat out. We did not eat out. We are living in a world now where everything is fast food. When I was growing up in the 70s, we couldn't afford to eat out, and we just didn't eat out. We just didn't. That was something that McDonald's was just coming up. I was born in 1966. We didn't do McDonald's. We ate at the house. And I got to tell you, as a Caribbean, oxtails, curry goat, chicken, stewed chicken. So we had the typical Caribbean cuisine. Quite delicious, might I add. I do remember fond memories of my grandmother making stewed chicken when I was a kid. That was her way. And a lot of times she overcompensated with the desserts. And I got to say, I did have a little bit of an issue with my weight due to a lot of the starch. We ate a lot of starch. Now, I could tell you, being Caribbean descent, we do eat a lot of starch. A lot of bread, hard dough bread, a lot of bun and cheese, bun cheese, and bun and cheese, rice and peas. So, starch. I can honestly say when I did eat vegetables as a child, it was cooked to death. It was like lifeless. There was no life in the cabbage. There was no life in anything. Everything was cooked beyond recognition. I didn't even know what it was. I just knew we was eating something that was overly cooked. So with that being said, my grandmother was a permanent fixture in my life. She was somebody who was the matriarch of the family. As we're coming into the holidays, she is the one that made the food for the holidays. She's the one that set the turkey, set the ham, the whole thing, the whole spread. We had the whole spread. So we had with a twist of sauce, whatever that I think Caribbeans have this thing where it's sauce with the pork and stuff like that. So we had that. But I do remember fond memories. I remember as a child when my grandmother or the adults ate towards the holiday, they ate in the kitchen. We ate at a little table, so children were not allowed to eat with the adults. And children were not allowed to, we were seen but not heard. We were seen but not heard. We actually, as a child, we knew our place. And as far as talking back to adults, that was not allowed to happen. So the kids nowadays, and I'm telling you this because nowadays the kids, it's a different time now. The kids got all this activity. And it's interesting. I personally don't have children, but I am a stickler for discipline. And I gotta tell you, I'm a typical Caribbean when it comes to children and when it comes to rules and regulations. Because I do believe that children need rules and regulations, or you'll have riffraff. All right, so I just cut up my noodles. So as I grew up, my grandmother always made food, fresh food. So this is my cucumber noodles. I'm about to get into it. My grandmother, it's not one time that my grandmother had us eating out of a can. She was she took tomatoes, she made tomato sauce. Cans was not her thing. She had other things. She had a sweet tooth for desserts, and usually she made the desserts like pineapple upside down cake, but really not a big fan of processed food. That's just a fact. My grandmother was a stickler. So I got a lot of my culinary skills, even though I did take food prep classes. And now I'm going to say food prep classes because I don't cook. But I did take classes on how to prepare food. But I got to tell you, one of my biggest influencer was my grandmother. To this day, and I think as I get older, I feel the presence of my grandmother more now than ever before. I can relate to all of the stuff that she was telling me. I actually could understand what she was saying. As a child, I thought she was controlling. She was trying to, dim my light. I was, and then as I became a teenager, I became a rebel because it was too much control. It was too much control, and I wanted to be free, and I was young. And I felt she was holding me back. So I went, and you know what young people do. We go out into the streets, and I'm adding some onions, because I like onions. So I went, and I got myself in situations that was incredible. If I would have just listened to my grandmother. So, one of the fondest memories, like I said, is spending time in the kitchen with my grandmother, making food. Like I'm doing right now. So me and my grandmother would be doing this together. But somewhere down the line, she's looking up smiling that I'm still making food in the house. Now, I got to tell you guys, we live in a world of fast food. there's a lot of you guys that, and I know you work, but a lot of you guys don't have time to sit down and have a meal with your family that you made. You basically is Uber deliver. And I got to tell you, a lot of the children, 40% of the children nowadays are obese. Now, obesity is a disease. And a lot of the children between the ages of as young as 5 is overweight. Now, when I was a child back in the 70s, you remember the Partridge Family and the Brady Bunch and I Dream of Jeannie. I'm dating myself. Yes, I'm 56. We spent a lot of time watching TV. And I gotta say the TV programs was a little more family orientated. It was more fun. The kids, kids were kids. Look at my pasta. So this is my noodle as I'm speaking. So I didn't put the sauce on yet, but so far I did put, here's the ingredients because I know somebody's going to ask me. Now, let me tell you something. I'm making this on the fly. I'm taking stuff that I have in my refrigerator and I'm reinventing it. There's no ingredients. There's no, I know somebody's going to ask me for the recipe. I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm going by spirit. So I'm moving whatever I have. I'm going to make. I had some cucumbers. I had some onions. See how cute that is? So now I'm about to go in and make the sauce. Now, with the sauce, I'm not going to use any oil. So instead of using oil, I'm going to be using this avocado, and it's about time. So this avocado is pretty old, but I'm still going to use it because it's still decent. I personally don't like to waste things, so I'm going to open it up. Yeah, it's still good. You see, it's still good. So I'm going to use this instead of using oil. I'm going to use the avocado. Now, my grandmother, Ophelia Williams, I love that name. They don't use Ophelia no more. That's in Shakespeare, Ophelia, character in Shakespeare. I don't know if it's Taming of the Shrew or one of them, but he used Ophelia is a very old name. My grandmother was born in 1919. The names are different. Now you got Shaniqua, you got Apple, you got this, you got that. But Ophelia Williams is the woman that I'm referring to. That's my grandmother. Ophelia Williams. And I want to introduce you to her. Yeah. I got to say, I can't tell you, there's not a day that goes by I don't think about that woman. Amazing woman. So I'm going to be using avocado as my base of my oil. So I'm not, now, I hear what you guys saying about cucumbers being fat, but it has fiber in it, and it has phytonutrients, and it has a lot of the stuff. It's not just oil that's processed. This is fiber. It came off of a tree, so it has the enzymes in it. It has nutrients in it that the body needs. This is the natural medicine. So I'm not going to use oil that's been processed. I'm olive oil, cold pressed oil. I'm not using any oil. I'm going to use the avocado. All right, so I'm going to use the avocado, and I'm going to put it in my Vitamix. I'm saying that because somebody's going to text me and they're going to say, "Hey, Delilah, what was that blender you Vitamix?" Now, and I'm not getting an affiliate. I'm not in an affiliate program. Hold up, I got to get a spoon. I'm not in an affiliate program with them. I'm just letting you guys know because I love you guys, and I know somebody's going to be knocking down my door and they're going to be asking me, "Yo, what did you use?" So I'm going to add my avocado. Nice. Very creamy. So this is a nice creamy avocado. So back to my grandmother. Love her. Love her. I'm going to add some bell peppers. I'm going to add the pepper in here. So let's get it popping. So my grandmother was a very religious woman. She was a God-fearing woman. Let's put it that way. She did Christianity in Panama is all over the place. Just like here, I'm in Central America. Christianity is here. I personally believe in faith. I'm spiritual, but I don't do labels when it comes to religion. I know that there is a higher calling, but I personally do not go into labels because, let's face it, I have studied Buddhism. We got the Muslim with Allah. We got Christianity, and it's all the same thing because everybody's trying to get to that place. So I don't like to separate and do labels, and I say I'm Christian, I'm this, I'm that. Like, I think about the Crusader War and people fighting over in the name of their God, and I don't want to be a part of that separation. All right, so instead of putting water, after I put my peppers, I'm going to use the cucumbers. Now, the cucumbers have a lot of water in it, so I'm going to use the center of the cucumbers just to get some hydration, some liquid. So this is going to be my liquid. I'm not going to put too much. I'm going to put too much. All right, then I got some seaweed. I'm going to add some seaweed for iodine. So I got some nori wraps. I'm just going to use like... I like seaweed. It's a sea vegetable, and seaweed is great for the brain. It has there you go. So I'm gonna put one. Yeah, let's throw caution into the wind. Let's go with 2. Now, mind you, I don't have a recipe. I'm going with my feelings. I'm feeling like I want 2 of the noris in there. I want 2. All right, that's 2. Nice. All right, so we got 2 in there. Got 2. Gotta clip it back. All right, we got that. Garlic. Can't do anything without garlic. Garlic is a staple. It keeps the vampires away. So back to my grandmother. So my grandmother was an amazing woman, and we spent a lot of time in church. My mother is a minister. I am the child of a minister. I, at one point, was going to become a minister, ordained minister. I was going to go to Duke University, and I was thinking about it, but my life took a turn as a teenager. Took a turn. Hold up. Pause on that for a second. So I got my garlic. I did that. I don't really want any. Okay, so garlic greens. I don't know if I want to put any more. We'll feel it out. Let's go with taste, because I'm going with spirit. I'm not going to do too much, but I'm going by my feelings. Oh, forgot about that. Almost lemon. So I usually put Bragg's apple cider vinegar, but I just squeezed some fresh lemon, and I'm going to use the fresh lemon as so I got my fats. Now I have my acid. So I'm going to put a little bit. I don't want it to be too heavy. Now this is like similar to salt, but I'm going to use some Bragg, some amino liquid. And also the seaweed has iodine in it. I don't want to, me and salt. I'm trying to stay away from it. High blood pressure is definitely a part of my family. So I'm going to just put a dab of do-ya. Let's put a dab of do-ya. All right, hold up now. So I put a little bit. You see that? I put like a tablespoon in there. I don't want to overdo it, because I got to tell you guys, behind the scenes, sometimes I put too much salt in my food, or too much, and I end up not even eating it. Now I'm going to add a date for a little sweetness, not too much. I'm going to add a medjool date, just to give it a little, I got my taste buds is all about sweet and salty. Like when I used to eat standard American diet, I used to eat a bag of potato chips, and then I would have like some donuts afterwards. I don't do that now. But when I was eating the standard American diet, part of the treat was the salt and the sugar balance. So I would eat a bag of chips, big bag of chips, with vinegar? What is this? The vinegar one, or the kettle, the crunchy one? I would eat a big bag of chips. And then after the chips, I would have a couple of donuts. I would throw down a couple of donuts. Listen, I'm not perfect. I want you guys to know this. I think I'm going to need that other cucumber too. I need more water. So I'm going to add another cucumber. When I say that, I'm just adding the core of the cucumber because it has the water in it. All right, so I got that. Put a little, I didn't put salt, but I put the Braggs in there. I got my seaweed. All right, you ready? It's going to be a little noisy. That's it. Make sure it looks cute. Okay, so I got my, you guys can see it, right? I want to make sure you guys can see it. So you don't say, I didn't see it. What happened? What happened? I missed it. And I got my mic on so you can hear me. So I made my sauce. This is my pasta. This is the cucumber pasta. It's cute with some not tomatoes. Cucumber pasta with some onions, little onions, and some bell peppers. So this is how it looks. Now I'm going to add a little sauce. Not too much. Not too much. I don't like it too much. Too much. Too much. I don't like it too much. Hey. All right. That's from Brooklyn. My Italian posse. Goomba Johnny. Shout out. All right. It's a little thick, but that's okay. You know what? I got to blend it. Let me blend it up a little finer. I don't like it. I got to blend it up a little finer. All right. It's going to be a little loud. All right, I think we got it now. It's perfecto. It's perfecto. All right, you ready, guys? This is where it all happens. Da 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 da. Drum roll, please. All right, I got my. That's it. That's the avocado sauce right there. I'm gonna mix it when I'm eating it, but that's it right there. That's all I'm going to do. So this would be my dinner, like my pasta dinner. Yummy, yummy, yummy. So the sauce, I'm going to let it marinate, go in. And I'm going to mix it together when I'm eating it. But see, this would be my dinner. A lot of you guys always ask me to make a video of what I eat. You see how quick that was? How I made that really quick? So this is my dinner right here. All right. See how quick that was? Raw vegan food on the pasta with bell peppers, onions, and then I made the sauce. The sauce is in the prior video. So I actually made it, and now I'm going to put it to the test. This is the best part of the whole thing. So I made the sauce. I'm going to just get some. So I want to move it around, and I'm going to taste. This is the taste test. This is the best part. Sorry, guys, I didn't do it earlier. All right, let me move this mic out the way. All right, you ready? Very nice. I would add a little bit more salt. Not too much, but very good. Very, very good. So, I will be enjoying this for my dinner. There's no oil because I use avocado. I use lemon as the acid. Lemon juice, real lemon juice. I put some seaweed in there. I had the garlic and among other things, but it's in the other prior video, so watch the other video. But it's quite delicious. I gotta say, I'm pleased with my meal, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Again, bon appetit.